Hello everyone and welcome back to WAW Bandai Product and Figure Review. I am happy to say I came back from Okamicon fairly happy because they actually had a model competition that they brought back since this was their first year. It didn't actually have a whole turnout for their model competition, so there was a few that that kind of were won by default. So basically I won the diorama competition basically by default, but I pitted two of mine against each other, so turns out my Barbatos battle actually won that for the diorama category. Next is actually kind of more of a victory, is that I actually got first place for aircraft. So that was with the XF-27 from Ace Combat, and that one actually won the first place for aircraft. Sadly to say, my Gundam entry only got second place. There was a few sprue marks that were on there, so but the part that kind of stings the most was it lost to a little miniature about yay big, but when I looked at it thoroughly and asked the guy what he actually did, my god, was there so much detail with that little miniature. It was in 5 little pieces, and again, it's that big, and he had to glue 5 pieces together. That took time and effort, and the seams weren't even there. I can't imagine trying to fix or fill seams for something yay big. The paint job on there was phenomenal as well for such being so tiny. So it gives me some inspiration for trying out some of those resin Gundam figures that I've been kind of eyeing and trying out my micro brushing with those. So those were some of the awards that I won. I also won popular vote for my for one of the models that I actually got, which was the I keep forgetting how to say the name, but it's like Ariam on the warrior thing. So it's like take a look at the picture here. So yeah, that's the one that got popular vote and got second place. So I'm really happy with how the turnout actually turned out for the quality. Again, I was happy with all of my models that I entered in. But so without further ado, let us take a look at the full-fledged episode for what we're going to be looking at. And we are going to be looking at the Gundam RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 3 Phenex in Destroyer mode. And again, this is a lovely unit, and this is from the Gundam series narrative. So this was a movie series that kind of encloses the Gundam Unicorn saga, so to speak. So this is the main unit. It's very interesting for how it's more gold. So we went from white, black, and now we gone to full gold. And it's as you can see, its scheme is blue and gold. So yeah, this is looking like a pretty cool one. There are 2 versions of this kit with the same box art that actually has a chrome gold tint to it, but this one just happens to be the standard yellowish gold for this. The one that has that actually is for about $60, and it's a nice chrome mirror finish for gold, but not this one. But you could always paint it to look that shiny too. So let's roll opening and take a look on the inside of this unit for the Gundam Destroyer Phenex from Narrative. so this is, again, the top of the box for the RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 03 Phenex Destroyer Mode alternative version. So yeah, this is from Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative. So it actually looks pretty OP for how this box is. And it gives you a couple ideas on how to do some of the weathering on this to kind of give it a scuffy kind of look to it. So let's take a look on the inside of this box. And as we can see, we're already greeted with really nice kind of a goldish sheen to this. So like usual, let's just dig out the instruction manual real quick and let us take a look at that real quick. So let's set aside that and let us take a look at the instruction manual. And again, this is a 144 scale high grade, and this is from the Universal Century series. On this, it has the blue mark on here, so this is one of the original versions of this that came out in I believe it was 2018. So this is before the brand change from red to blue. So again, it gives us a bit of a stats of the unit itself. So it gives us height, weight, tonnage, that kind of thing. And yeah, this is looking really kind of cool for how everything looks. So let's open this up and take a look. Well, let's just flip it over just to see what the back of the instruction manual looks like real quick. And it gives us two of its shields, which look like kind of rayish kind of things, like mana rays. So that's kind of interesting that it has like a tail, then it could just swivel around. So that's actually kind of cool. Again, it gives us a color guide for all the colors that we need, a brief synopsis of the unit, and various other information about the Phenex. So again, let's take a look on the inside. So again, this is the like centerfold, so to speak. So these are already fairly ahead for when we actually want to open this up. So we want to open this up all the way, and let's start off with this page here. And this is basically giving us the rundown for all of the runners for this unit and basic instructions on how to or not to fit parts. So again, I wish this was kind of more in English, but it does actually give us a few more translations, so to speak. So it does help a little bit. Again, when it comes to some of the newer kits around 2018 and up, that's when we're start getting more English translations. So we're just going to keep moving on. We have the basic head units, or the torso, I should say, which comprises of front and back, various other pieces. We also have the head, which has a unique kind of V shape for it. It looks like there's some stickers that this comes with. I'll probably more likely paint them. Moving on to this portion, this is where the arms are, and so again, working in pairs, we have two arms, and it has various armor pieces, and we're going to have a lot of bluer tint to the destroyer mode for when it's activated. And so yeah, we also have the feet units, and yeah, so leg and feet. And then we're moving on to the final part of this, and again, they're very simple assembly. This is for the other like leg unit, and that's pretty much the final. And this is the basic assembly on how the unit goes together for like the shields, or the mana ray shields thing. That's not what they're actually called. I would have to look it up, but they're like funnels, but like mana ray funnel kind of looking things. And then we have the blaster and the other shield. So yeah, this is actually looking pretty cool, and it looks like there are some clear parts that goes with this. So yeah, that's the instruction manual for the Gundam Unicorn. Destroyer mode, Phenex. Yeah, that's a mouthful to say for this unit. So let's set aside that and actually take a look at the model plastic itself to take a look to see what we actually get and how this actually looks like. So this one's packed pretty well, actually. So this one actually has 1, 2, 3 runners in here. So I'm betting that 2 of these runners are identical, which I am correct. So let's take a look, because these are actually the cool part, which are the funnels that this unit has. And as we can see, they're actually fairly good size. They are a goldish color. It does have a little bit of that aftermarket molding, injection molding that they have. So it is, might need some buffing or something like that. But in all honesty, if you looked at the box, it does have a bit of a matted kind of look to it. So yeah, that might actually could work if you do a nicer, thinner coat of like really like metallic gold to emphasize the wear and tear a little bit for how these look. So again, we have a front and back for each one of these. We have the corresponding blue, which are clear parts, which is kind of cool. I thought they were going to be more of a solid blue, but they are all translucent blue. And we have 2 crowns, which is kind of interesting. But I guess that gives us like it looks like it's a front and back kind of thing. So yeah, that's going to give us a fairly interesting perspective on the V shape for the Gundam. So yeah, this is actually looking really well. We can see when we flip them upside down, we can actually see a lot more detail parts and how this is going to go together. So that's actually looking pretty snazzy. So now let's move on to the other part that was in here, and this is basically runner A. So this is basically what we have is we have the feet for the top, heels. We have the front and back for the sides for the backpack. Various joints, parts for the shield for, I believe this would be like in its transformed version, or this is going to be parts where it's going to be part of the shield that is more the metallic metal. Then we have our joints for like the hips. We have various hands. We have jet nozzles and a lot of hatch points that will like clamp onto the unit. We also have a center chest, and I believe this is the top portion of the chest too. So yeah, that's for this part here, which is, again, usually they're all into the same color. And we also have the head unit for this. I might almost want to say I might want to even try putting little LED lights in here, since this actually does light up. This might actually be a really cool project to practice LED lighting to add a little bit of flair to this model kit, especially with all the other Gundams in the series that have lighted parts, so to speak. So let's move on to the next portion of our runners. So with this, we actually have a full runner of clear blue parts here. So I would almost say for anyone, try to probably experiment with doing clear, like use like Tamiya's clear blue to spray on this to help get rid of some of the aftermarket stuff. It still will give you that nice bluish sheen, but it would be kind of a helpful thing to add a clear blue onto this. It will just give it a little bit, get rid of some of this aftermarket, because you would have to sand this all down, buff it out. So again, I'll do some experimentation with getting clear parts to be a lot more shiny after sanding and polishing. So look forward to those types of tutorials that are going to be coming up. But yeah, it's actually fairly well built. It's nice in like a nice powder blue clear. And yeah, it looks really nice actually. So I love the number of clear parts for these Gundam kits. Because you don't see a lot of clear parts unless it was like a special Gundam or something like that. So these are really going to be fun. So we do have like for the shield, various parts for like vents. We have the leg units, chest unit, backpack, waist, front and back for the waist units, armor pieces that transform. So that's basically this. Next, we have the blaster itself. And this is basically the typical blaster that we see with almost all of the other ones. We have the bottom of the feet. We have a spare clip that would basically clip on the bottom. We have our two little points where we can attach our beam saber to the backpack. And we have various jet nozzles. And with them, the fact that they have little holes, I could almost put LED lighting in these to make it look like it's shooting out. So, yeah, that's a possibility of what I could possibly do with that. So that is Runner D, and so it's basically the main weapon, so to speak. So moving on, and we are on a complete gold. Yeah, so we have two identical runners for C, and these are primarily all the gold pieces, and this is going to be for the legs, arms, chest, and various other pieces for like the head. But yeah, it is a nice gold color. Again, it has this aftermarket kind of smoky look to it. I don't know if that was deliberate or that's just result of manufacturing, but it does look kind of cool. But again, I would try to paint if you could possibly, but you don't necessarily have to paint if you are just getting into Gundams. This already looks pretty cool as long as you just know how to buff and sand and buff. You can get away with making this look fairly decent just straight building it. Again, it's really nicely colored. It is well done. The plastic is really nice and firm for these, so it's not really flimsy, so you don't have to really worry about breakage. I would still use nippers to get these out, but they're just going to pop out really nicely and you can do a nice sand. So yeah, Bandai does a really nice job with its colored parts. Now we're moving on to the very last portion of this. And get that killer knife. Alrighty, so we'll start off with let's scoot that over. Again, these are our last parts for the Phenex, and it looks like the tail portion. Let's take a look at that real quick. The tail is actually in multiple pieces, so it actually kind of snaps into each other from how it looks. So that's going to be kind of interesting on how that actually goes together, and it will explain how the flexibility would work on here, because it actually does wiggle a little bit, so that's going to be kind of interesting. And so that's the top and back, and here's the actual tails for the funnels. So yeah, that's looking really nice. Next, we have the final runner, and this actually has the final gold pieces. We have the shield, the head unit, which comprises of 2 pieces. We have 4 beam sabers. We have the front and side armor for the Phenex. We also have the joints for the front and back for the upper and lower portion of the legs. and various other pieces for armors for the front, sides, and back. But yeah, so we have that, and we have only 2 little things left that was in here. We have our PVC plastic gaskets for our joints. It would have been pretty cool if these were like gold color. So yeah. Next we have, finally we have our little stickers for the eyes and various other things. So that's basically what I would probably only going to be using the eye stickers until I get much better at doing detail work for the models. So yeah, that is the Gundam Phenex Destroyer Mode narrative version for the Gundam Unicorn series. So this is going to wrap up these particular units, because these were the main 3 that I covered from the Gundam Unicorn, Banshee, and now Phenex. So if there's any other series that you want to be have featured, I'm probably going to be doing a final with the real grade Shinenju that's over here to finish off the Gundam Unicorn series, and maybe take a look at the real grade as well from the Gundam Unicorn. But if you guys have any other suggestions or any particular other mecha series you want to have reviewed, please leave that in the comments, and definitely like and subscribe if you like these kinds of content and videos. I will also be doing possibly a short video dealing with 2 anime figurines that I managed to get while I was at Okamicon. Again, they're not too expensive, but look forward to that review. And yeah, I will see you guys into the next video. And until then, peace.